What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, subscribe, comment, like, give me the little bell so you know when I post new videos. Today I'm going to be talking about a fucking wild story. Probably like one of the craziest things to happen to me. Top 10 craziest things to happen to me. This would only happen to me. So grab a coffee, grab some wine, grab something to eat. Like, I have a burger and a coffee because this story is exhausting. And there's parts of it where you're gonna be like, that didn't fucking happen. I have all my friends to tell you it happened. This was fucking crazy. Like, I am hyping up this video so much. Holy, I get myself in some bad situations, and there's many more to come of those. So what am I am eating this burger. Like, I'm starving. I'm literally so hungry. I haven't eaten all day. Shout out to A&W for having Beyond Meat, because I don't want to fuck with a beef burger. I want a Beyond Meat burger because I'm a basic bitch that's trying to follow trends. No, because that's just what I'm doing. This burger looks fucking good. Like, okay! I even wrote fucking notes for you guys because I didn't want to mess up any parts of the story. I just got my white blanket covered in coffee. So, full disclosure of this video, I did not get arrested. I was very close because I was associated with those people, but no, I did not get arrested. So don't get it twisted when you listen to the story. Anyway, a lot of parts of the story are pretty fucking wild, but like, that's my life, so I've just kind of come to terms with crazy shit happens to me, and I just deal with it when it gets there. Everything that happened in the story is just literally bound to happen to me. What's up? I'm Rhiannon. I'm a mess. My life's a mess, and yeah, that's just what this is. So I hope you guys enjoy this story. Don't get it twisted. I did not get arrested. I was just an associate with the people that did. So yeah, get right into it. Okay, now that I've eaten my burger, I'm ready to tell the story. Fuck. I was in Vancouver. It was a normal day. Like, I was over at a friend's house, just hanging out, seeing her. The day before I went jet skiing. Like, it was a normal day in the summer. There wasn't anything weird happening. Like, it was just, yet. It was like a normal day in Vancouver, like, no biggie. I'm going to catch the ferry because I had to work at 5 that night. My buddy texts me and he's like, hey, like, I'm heading that way if you need a ride. And I was all the way in Richmond, so I was like an hour away from the ferry. I was like, yeah, that'd be dope. Thank you. Like, awesome. So he comes and grabs me, and we were just buddies. Comes and grabs me from Richmond. We're like driving. We've been driving for like maybe 10 minutes. And we see sirens behind us. And I'm like, oh, what the fuck? Like, I didn't think we were speeding, but like, whatever. So the cop pulls us over, and I'm like, oh, maybe it's because his windows are like tinted so much. No, that is not why at all. So the cop pulls us over and tells us both to get out of the vehicle. I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, I've never been told to get out of the vehicle for like a speeding ticket or for your windows being too tinted. Like, okay, so both of us get out of the vehicle. We're like, what? And I feel like he kind of knew that something was going on, but like didn't want to freak me out. And the cop tells us that this vehicle was involved in crime or some shit, and he told me that it was like red flagged or like blacklisted, which to me, I'm like, what? What the fuck do you mean this vehicle is blacklisted? Like, huh? What? I like look over at my buddy. We'll call him Jacob. Okay, so I look over at Jacob and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, you literally told me you were driving me to the ferry and that nothing was wrong. And like, I guess it was my own fault for getting in the vehicle and like knowing what type of guy he is. But at the same time, like, it was a ride to the ferry. I didn't think it would be an ordeal. So about 20 minutes goes by I'm still sitting on the sidewalk being like, what the fuck is going on? And Jacob and the cop are like talking, but I don't want to like eavesdrop, and it's also not about me, so I don't really want to know anything about what's going on either. In my mind, I'm like, oh my God, like I still have to catch the ferry. Like I have to work tonight. This is my main priority, is to get to the ferry so I can go home. And so we're standing there and whatnot, and then Jacob comes over to me to talk to me about like what's happening. And he's like, hey, like I don't think I'm gonna get out of this for a while. Like, if you want to stay, that's fine, but like I don't think I can drive you to the ferry in time. And the cop says, by the way, like this car is getting impounded. You won't be driving, and your license is gone. What? So I'm panicking. I'm like, well, fuck, like I need to call like a taxi or something. As soon as I say that, 3 more undercover cop cars show up. I'm like, what the fuck did you do? Like, do you have like a warrant out for your arrest or something? Like, what is going on? This looks so bad. Like, oh my God. So now there's 4 cop cars around us. I'm just literally sitting on the sidewalk like, what the fuck is happening? I'm so embarrassed. There's people like staring. It was just like such a shit show. And I'm too like nervous to ask Jacob what's going on. And he like doesn't want to talk about it. But I'm just standing there and I can't leave because I was in the car. And it's just like so bad. And in the meantime, I'm freaking texting my best friend Savannah. And I'm like, holy fuck, man. Like, this is what's going on. I don't know what to do. Like, what should I do? Should I just like start walking away and like see what happens? She messaged back. She's like, holy fuck. Like, I can come into van if you need me to come into Vancouver and help you. Like, what's going on? Are you going to get arrested? Like, what is happening? As soon as I get off the phone with Savannah, another fucking cop car shows up. There's 5 cop cars around us on the side of the road, just casual. Like, it literally could not look any worse than this right now. And this beautiful male cop gets out of the vehicle. And I'm like, oh, damn, who is this guy? Like, I will stay here and talk to him. Like, what? This guy was literally like, I don't even know how to describe him. He was beautiful. Dark hair, tall, blue eyes, fucking just gorgeous. Like, the bone structure was insane. Like, please arrest me, officer. I will totally go with you. Like, it was so bad. But, so he comes over to me, sees me sitting on the sidewalk, like, all fucking worried, and comes over to me and he's like, so the details of this situation, blah, 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 starts talking about what's going on, and then says to me, so you were technically just getting a ride from a friend. And I was like, yeah, that's exactly what I was doing. I have to work tonight and I need to get to Horseshoe Bay Ferry. Like, that's my priority. So he says, he's like, okay, well, do you really know the guy? Like, do you need to stay here and see if he's okay? And I look over at him, I'm like, can I go? Like, there's no reason for me to be here. And you fucking made your bed. Like, you gotta lay in it now because I don't know what the fuck you did. I don't want to ask what you did. You don't really want to tell me what you did. I say to the cop, I'm like, no, I can leave. There's not much of a reason for me to be here anymore. And it's just tedious. Like, it's just, we're waiting for the car to get towed away so it can go into the impound, and then he's going to go downtown. Not much of a reason for me to stay. And he's still got a bunch of questioning apparently to do. And like, I don't have any of that. So I got to go. Like, I have to work. The beautiful cop says to me, well, I can either call you a cab or I could drive you to the ferry as well. Sorry, what? You will drive me to the ferry? I will gladly get into your cop car so you can drive me to the ferry. Gladly. So I get into the back of the cop car. We start driving. He's just like talking to me. I'm like asking him about his life, like what made him get into this as his career and just like all of that. He was asking me like why I was associated with that guy and just like what I was doing. And I told him, I was like, I grew up with him. Like, I don't know. I just literally didn't think about it. I thought I was just getting an instant ride to the ferry. I didn't know this was going to happen. Like, just casual conversation about what had just occurred. So we're driving. We're probably driving for like 5-10 minutes, like not long. And we're still an hour away from the ferry. And he gets a call. I'm like, fuck me. Like, this sucks. I need to get to the goddamn ferry. So he gets a call. He's got to go take it. And he's like, here, I'll call you a cab. Like, I'm sorry, but I have to leave. Like, I have to go to this call. So he calls me a cab. I'm like, okay, blah, blah, blah. Like, thank you. Like, this sucks. So I get into this cab. And we're driving for literally like 15 minutes. The scariest cab ride of my life. I thought this guy was just gonna like fucking roll us at any minute. This was terrifying. We're driving for like maybe 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, like not long again. I'm like 25 minutes into driving towards the ferry now. And he fucking gets pulled over because he's speeding. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? So I see the sirens behind us. I'm like, okay, what the hell? Like, I just want to get to the ferry. I'm like calling Savannah, being like, I got into a taxi, but now that the fucking taxi got pulled over too, like, I'm screwed again. I'm in the spot that I was in fucking 10 minutes ago. Like, I just can't get ahead, and I'm so fucking scared of not being at work. Now, we're pulled over. I'm like, dude, like, what the fuck? And who pulled him over? The sexy cop. I was like, what? So the cop gets out. He's like, oh, Rhiannon, I am so sorry. Like, this is such an inconvenience for you. Blah, blah, blah. He like talks to me for a little bit about it, talks to the taxi driver about him speeding, and he was excessive speeding, so his vehicle was getting impounded. He can't catch a break. So I'm with the cop again, and he is talking to me about everything. He's like, I don't know, like, would you like me to call you another taxi? Like, what would you like to do? I can drive you, but I gotta call another cop to come here and deal with this situation. I'm like, no problem. Like, I can figure it out. It's not a big deal. It's like, okay. So he walks back over to his car, and he calls another cop to come deal with this situation. So he comes back over and pulls my bags out of the trunk of the taxi, and he's like, no, like, I'll drive you to the ferry. You've been through enough. Like, first your fucking friend gets arrested, and now this taxi driver's getting his car impounded, all in the matter of like half an hour. I'm like, thanks. Like, I'm literally just trying to get to the ferry so I can go to work. So he grabs my bags out of the car and puts them back into his cop car. I get into the back again. We start having another conversation about everything, and he's like talking to me and whatnot about his friends and everything. And I subtly ask if he has a girlfriend. He's like, no, I'm single. Like, any girl that I've been around just can't really deal with my life and like my work schedule. And like that part of it's really, really hard. And I'm sitting there like, so you're single? What? Pardon me? Oh my God. So I'm like, but I'm also thinking like, fuck, I don't want to mess this up. I'm not going to ask him for his number. Like, he's got to ask me for my number because that's just the way that I want to play this. So I keep talking to him. We're having like such a dope conversation. I'm such that person to like pick someone's brain and like really want to like get deep with them, like figure out like why the world is the way the world is and like what your story is. So he tells me that he's single and he's like had a couple girlfriends in the past, but it just never really worked out. And so he's just been single for the last like year or so, and he's just trying to work as much as he can and blah, blah, blah. So small talk. I'm like, oh, okay, like cool. Like, I'm single too. I'm just like waitressing and whatnot. I'm probably like, I don't know, 20 minutes, half an hour away from the ferry now. And I get a text from my boss saying, you can have the night off. Don't worry about it. It seems like it's going to be pretty slow. So just stay the night in van or come home. But either way, you don't have to work tonight. I'm like, oh my God. Like, I'm staying in Vancouver. I want to go for dinner with this guy. Like, what? The stars are all aligning. Like, I need to keep this conversation going. So I tell him, oh my gosh, my boss just gave me the night off work. Like, I'm just going to stay in van. I appreciate you driving me to the ferry, but honestly, you can just kind of drop me off wherever and I'm going to get back downtown. He's like, oh, so you're staying in Vancouver then? And I was like, yeah, I'm just going to stay over at my friend Emily's house. She's the mom. I fucking love Emily. So I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to stay downtown. Like, it's not a big deal. You can drop me off wherever. So he's like, no, like, I'll drive you to your friend's house. Like, no worries. I'm about to be off work in an hour anyway. And I'm like, what? Okay. And there's already so much that has happened today. Like, I am just so exhausted already. Like, my friend literally got arrested in front of me. I almost did. The taxi driver gets his car impounded when I'm just trying to get to the ferry. And so much other shit. The amazing cop drives me to my friend's house, and as I'm getting out, he says to me, "Is there any chance that I can take you for dinner tonight?" What? Me? For dinner? I would love to! So casually, I say, "Yeah, of course. I can be ready in an hour if you want to come by and grab me again." He's like, "Yep, for sure. I'll see you in an hour." Like, okay. So I run upstairs to Emily's. I'm like, "Holy shit, dude, guess what?" Like, blah, blah, blah. I'm like telling her all this. She's like, "What? You're going out with a cop? Like, what do you mean?" And like, I definitely don't have the best track record, but I was like, yeah, like, this guy's so cool, and like, he's drop dead gorgeous, and like, I want to keep talking to him. Like, you know, those conversations where you're just like, I never want this to end. Like, he is so interesting. And I never thought I would think that way about a cop. But no offense to cops, like, I'm just normally don't get along with you guys. So, but anyway, so yeah, I'm super excited. I'm like talking to Emily. I'm getting ready. I'm just like pumped. And I tell my friend, I'm like, "Hey, like, I'm staying in town, blah, blah, blah." She's like, "Oh my God, what the fuck? Like, what? How does this happen? Like, what do you mean? This cop literally almost arrested you, but now you're going on a date with him. Like, what?" I was like, "Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm not sure how this shit happens to me, but it does." So, the cop comes and picks me up an hour later, and we go out for dinner at this beautiful restaurant right on the water, and he just starts like unloading his life onto me and just telling me so many cool things and like insane stories and stuff that I was like, what the fuck? Like, this guy is so cool. Like, he's so interesting, and just like, fuck, like, he was such a great guy. I'm like, how the fuck are you single? Like, you have a good job, you're beautiful, like, you're intelligent, you're easy to talk to. He was just like the whole package. And I was like, how do you not have a girlfriend? How do you not have a wife? Like, what? I'm so confused. And so we're like having dinner and whatnot, and everything's going great. Like, it's just, we're having such a good time. We're like talking. We just like completely forget what time it is. I don't even know that I have a phone. I could easily talk to him about anything, and it was just like easy. Talking and whatnot, and we finish our food. We finish dessert. He says to me, "Would you like to grab a coffee?" And like, would I like to grab a coffee? Would I? I would love to grab a coffee. Like, what are you talking about? Obviously, I would like to grab a coffee. And with you? Yes, I would like to grab a coffee. My heart. So we get back into his car, and don't mind me, but his car was fucking beautiful. It's probably one of the nicest cars I've ever been in. And we get back into his car, and we go grab coffee from some place, just like a drive-through. And then he takes me on this, like, it was like a tour of different viewpoints in Vancouver. And if you know me, like, that is my shit. Get me a coffee and take me to really cool places. You will literally have my heart. Like, that is that. I will be yours. And so we're like going to all these viewpoints and stuff, and just like having so much fun. And I was like, holy, like, you were such a dope dude. Like, what the fuck? And we're just talking, and I'm like, wow, like, this guy is so cool. Like, I can really see myself like falling for this guy. And I don't normally fall for people. Like, pretty hard to get me to actually like fuck with you. So I'm like, wow, like, this guy's really fucking intelligent. And like, that to me is just everything. Like, if you're smart and you can hold a conversation with me, like, that is what I'm into. Like, that is literally, if you're like attractive but you're a dud, like, you will never win me over. If you can't hold your own and have a like very intelligent, deep conversation with me, you will literally never have my heart. You just won't. Where this guy was like so intelligent, just so driven, like, he had so many dreams. He just wanted to be a cop for a little bit and then do so many other things. And I was like, wow, like you are dope. So we're like looking at all these viewpoints, like having so much fun. What is my life? Like, how did this happen? Where did this come from? I was literally almost arrested earlier, and now I'm on a fucking one of the best date. Definitely, like maybe not the best date, but right up there with one of the best dates I've ever been on with the guy who almost arrested me. What? What the fuck? So I'm just like talking with him at one of his viewpoints, and we're just like talking about the future and like what I want to do with my life and like what he feels like doing with his life. And I had always wanted to go traveling, so like I was talking to him about that, and I was just like being really open with him about everything, like wanting to get into real estate, and then after real estate go into law school after I have sold a bunch of houses so I can pay for my own schooling, and like just all these things where he was just like so supportive and like fucking do it, like do it right now, like I will help you and blah blah blah. And I was like, wow, like this guy is so cool. I just want to hang out with him forever. Like you're just so intelligent, funny, and nice and beautiful, and you're everything that I want. And then he tells me he's moving. Yeah. He tells me he's moving to Vegas in a month. At the time, I was 19. So going to Vegas wasn't really an option for me. And I definitely wasn't going to travel to Vegas to go see a guy that I barely really knew. Like, fuck. That one was shitty. But he was so nice, and like I still kept talking to him, and like the date was fine. After he told me everything was like kind of different, but I was still like so supportive because I was like, that's what you want to do, so like I support you to do it because like that's what's gonna make you happy. And I just wish that I had met you sooner. And he kept saying that too. He was like, I wish I had met you sooner. Like, why couldn't I met you a year ago? You just weren't meant to meet me a year ago, and I wasn't meant to meet you a year ago either. Like that's what the fate is that we are meant to meet now, and we were supposed to learn things from each other that we wouldn't have been able to learn from each other back then. So thank God you didn't arrest me. Like where would I be if he didn't show up? Like I don't know. I really couldn't tell you. I really couldn't tell you. But yeah, we like talked a little bit after he had moved, and he was just like one of those ones I would randomly call and like catch up with. But both of us knew that it wouldn't really turn into anything, and it kind of just like fizzled away, and that was the story of us, I guess. I literally went to get a ride to the ferry. My friend gets arrested. His car gets taken. I almost get arrested. Then I get a taxi, and he gets his car impounded. And then I get a date with an amazing cop. What? What? How did I do that? I have no idea, but it was fucking worth it. Anyway, that was today's storytime video of me finessing my way into weird situations that turn out amazing when they are really, really shitty, but now they're amazing. I hope you guys liked it. Subscribe, like, comment, press the little bell so you know when I post videos. And yeah, thanks guys.